In the last lesson, I tried to explain why it is necessary to create a basic layout of your scene before you actually bring in assets to create the scene. And in this lesson, I'm going to follow pretty much the same concept here and create a basic outline for the mountains in the background. Okay. So what I'm going to do in here is to first bring in my camera so that I have a little bit of better idea of where I'm going to place my mountains. So what I'm going to do in here is to adjust my view somewhere around here. I'm going to go into this burger menu and scroll down to create camera here option and simply add a camera actor. Okay. It's going to bring in a camera into my scene, and it's also going to create this small window so that you can preview the camera. But I personally don't like to use this window. What I'm going to do in here is to split the screen into half, and I'm going to use my left side of the screen to preview the camera, and I'm going to use the right hand side of the screen to navigate around in my scene. So what I'm going to do in here is to first disable this preview window. For that, I'm going to go into edit, editor preferences, and I'm going to search for camera, and I'm going to scroll down to this option, preview selected cameras. I'm going to disable this. And as you can see, I don't have that camera preview window anymore. And now what I'm going to do is to split my screen into half. So as you can see that we have this camera in here, and I'm going to go into this burger menu. I'm going to go into layouts, and I'm going to select this layout. It's going to split my window into two. Now I'm going to use this half to navigate around in my scene, and I'm going to use the left hand side to preview my camera. Okay. I also like to keep this as cinematic. Now I'm going to adjust the position of this camera, but before that, I'm going to tweak some settings. Now I am fully aware that we haven't discussed all these settings yet, but for now I just need you to follow along this video. As we go down the series, there is going to be an entirely separate section for camera settings, and we're going to go through all the important settings that you're going to need for this course. But for now, I just need you to bear with me and follow along this video. Let me adjust this window. And first of all, I'm going to change the film back settings to IMAX 70mm. I'm going to increase my squeeze factor to 2, and I'm going to change the focus method to disable, and I'm going to increase my focal length to, let's say, 130 or maybe 150, perhaps 160. I'm not sure, but for now I think 160 is going to be fine, at least for creating the basic layout. So now I'm going to adjust the position of this camera. And this is the advantage of using split screen. As you can see that I can adjust my camera, and at the same time I can preview the camera as well. If you're changing the position of your camera, but somehow the preview is not updating on the left hand side, I think there's going to be an option in here to enable real time. Okay. By default, I think it is disabled. So you just need to enable that. And then if you change the position of your camera, it's going to also update on the left hand side as well. Okay. So I'm going to bring this real close to the character. And maybe, not sure, maybe place it somewhere around here. Perhaps maybe somewhere around here. Okay. Anyways, I'm not worried about position too much. I just need this position to have an idea where I'm going to place my background mountains. Okay. So now that we have adjusted the position of the camera, let's go into the landscape mode. Let me save everything. And I'm going to go back to landscape mode, and I'm going to select the sculpt tool. The size is too huge. I think I'm going to bring this down to, let's say, 500. Yeah, probably 500 is too low. Maybe 1000. Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more. 1500. Yeah, this is going to work fine. I'm going to bring down the tool strength to 0.2. And let me drag this window and bring it here. I'm going to drag this window and bring it somewhere around here. I think I should also just adjust this one as well. Yeah. So I'm going to place my mountains, I think, somewhere around here. So I'm going to create a little bit of outline in here. And maybe make this a little bit more visible. Yeah. I think this looks good. I'm also going to extend it to just about there. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one as well. Yeah. And as you can see, this camera preview really helps a lot to create an outline and gives us an idea about the position of those mountains. Okay. So I'm going to also add a few mountains in here as well. So let's paint some area for them. Maybe I should increase the tool strength. Okay, there we go. Let me enlarge this window and see how this looks like in here. Of course, this is just a rough outline, so it's not going to look so well, but I just need to get an idea about the position of these mountains with respect to this character, okay? So I'm going to split this window again, and yeah, I think this looks good. Let's go back into the selection mode, and I'm going to save everything. Let me bring out this window in here, and I'm going to bring up my content browser as well. And I think our layout is now complete. And as you can see, we have a little bit of boundaries for the environment. We have a basic outline where we're going to place our mountains. And we also have a little bit of idea where we're going to place the mountains in the back as well. Okay. So now that the basic outline is complete, I think it's time we should now start bringing in real assets to build up our scene. And the first thing that I'm going to bring in here is the character. Okay. So of course, if you have your own character, you can bring that in here as well. But what I'm going to do in here is to go to cgtrader.com. It's an online website where you can download different 3D models. And I'm going to look up for a free 3D model for this particular shot. So here I have opened cgtrader.com, and it is a really good resource and a marketplace where you can find several paid and free 3D models. Okay. Let's say if I search for droid. And here you can see that we have several assets, several characters that we can use in our project. And it's going to save us a lot of time as well, because modeling a character from scratch can be a very lengthy and hectic process. So if you're good with modeling, I'll highly recommend you to use these assets in your projects. And you can also find some free assets in here as well. If I'll select this free option, it's going to show me a lot of free assets that I can use in my project. Okay. So for this shot, I'm going to use this asset. You just have to create a CG Trader account, and you can easily download this asset from here. I'll provide you with the link of this asset as well. And once we've downloaded this asset, I'm going to use another free tool known as Mixamo to rig and animate this character. Okay. Of course, you can rig and animate your character by using any 3D software as well if you want. But a free tool like Mixamo is going to save us a lot of time. It's free, it's very easy to use as well, and it's going to provide us with a lot of animation presets as well that we can use for our character in our project. You just need an Adobe account, and that is pretty much it. So I'm going to quickly log into my Adobe account. So as you can see that we have several animation presets to work with, and all we have to do is to just upload a character and then label a few bones, select the animation preset, and simply download the FBX file of the animation. Okay. So I'm going to quickly upload a character in here. I'm going to select upload character and click here to select the character from my PC. And I'm going to open this character. It's going to take a little bit of time to upload and process the character. Once the uploading and processing is complete, it's going to show us the orientation of the character. For example, if your character is somehow upside down for some reason or isn't accurately oriented, you can adjust that from these controls, okay? But as you can see, we don't have those sort of problems right now, so I'm just going to click on next. And now we're going to just have to label a few bones and we're good to go, okay? I'm going to drag this label and place it here. You can also follow this diagram as well. And I'm going to place this marker just about there. Okay. Let's place this label on elbows. just about there. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for the knees as well. And same thing here as well. Okay. If for some reason your character doesn't have a proper symmetry, you can disable this box and manually adjust these markers. I'm going to keep this checked and click next. And now it's going to take a little bit of time to create the bones and rig your character. But one thing that I'd like to mention in here is that Mixamo follows a general algorithm, which is going to work fine for a few characters, but definitely not every character that you're going to upload in here. For the sake of demonstration and this course, it is going to work just fine. But if you're good at rigging and animating characters, I'll highly recommend you to do that by yourself in a 3D software. So as you can see that it has done a good job in the rigging of this character, and I'm going to now click on next. And let's now search for an animation for this character. I'm going to use the animation that I used beforehand to create the trailer of this course, and that animation was titled as emerging character. Okay, so I'm going to search for emerging and let's see if it comes up here. Yeah, I think it was this one. Yeah, there it is. You can see that we can also preview the animation in here as well. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to now simply just click on this download button. It's going to bring up this window, and I'm going to change the frame rate to 24 FPS because I'm going to use 24 FPS for all of my animations. Okay. And I'm going to simply click on download. It's going to download my character and animation as well. And I'm going to just simply import that animation into Unreal. Okay. Let's quickly create a separate folder in the content browser for animations. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this as animations. And I'm going to create another folder in here. And I'm going to call this emerging underscore shot underscore one. Let's import the animation. I'm going to click on import, move to the folder where I saved this animation, and I'm going to click on open. I'm going to keep all these settings as they are. I'm just going to disable import texture, and I'm going to change this to do not create materials. Okay. Just make sure you also import the animations. I'm going to keep this skeletal mesh box checked because this is a skeletal mesh, and I'm going to click on import all. Once our import is complete, it's going to bring up these 4 assets, and you can view your animation by opening this asset. Okay. I'm going to enlarge this window, and as you can see, this is what our animation looks like in Unreal Engine. So I'm going to close this one, and let's now bring in this skeletal mesh into the scene. And as you can see, it's pretty huge at this point. So we're going to have to scale this down. I'm going to move this here just for the sake of reference. And let's scale this down significantly. Maybe somewhere around here. I think I should scale this further down. Perhaps 0.1555. Yeah, I think this looks good. Okay. So I don't need this character anymore because now I have my actual character that I'm gonna use for this shot. And as you can see, it's gonna need some materials. So let's create a few materials. I'm gonna drag this in here, and I'm gonna enlarge this window. And let's go into the content folder, and I'm gonna create a separate folder for my custom materials. Try to keep your outliner and content browser as organized as you can, because as the project starts to build up, it's going to look like a mess. Okay. So let's create a custom material. I'm going to create a material by opening this menu, and I'm going to type in m underscore basic. Okay. Let's open this material. And in here, what I'm going to do is to promote the base color to parameter. And I'm going to do the same thing for metallic, specular, and for roughness as well. I'm going to set the maximum value for the slider to 1, and I'm going to keep the minimum at 0. Okay. I'm going to change this to maybe somewhere around here and press OK. Save everything, come out of this one and create a material instance so that we can tweak all these parameters in real time. Okay, so there are a lot of materials that we need to add. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time to add all these materials. So I'm just going to time lapse everything. Okay. You can simply just select the material and click on all of these arrows. And one thing that I like to mention in here is that I imported this character in Blender and made a few adjustments with the material slot. So if your material slots doesn't look like the way I have in here, don't worry about that. I just adjusted a few material slots in Blender, okay? So now that I've applied the material, let's adjust a few material parameters. I'm going to open this material instance and let's see what we can do in here. I don't want this character to be metallic, so I'm just going to disable this parameter. I'm going to increase the roughness. Let me see. First, I'm going to bring the specular all the way up to 1. And let's see now what we can do with the roughness. This is what it looks like, completely smooth. And I think maybe somewhere around here. Of course, we can tweak this later as well, but for now, I'm just going to keep it like this. I'm going to close this one, and what I'm going to do in here is to create a duplicate of this material instance. And I'm going to change the base color in here to maybe something like this. I think I'm going to have a better idea after I apply this material on a few meshes in here. Yeah, let's first apply this material, okay? I'm going to apply it on this mesh, on that one as well, maybe on this one as well, just to add a little bit of variation, okay? In here as well, maybe in here as well. I'm gonna do the same thing here, same thing here, and here, and here as well, maybe here as well. And maybe here as well. And I think I should apply this material in here as well. Same thing here. And of course here as well. Yeah, I think this looks good. And let's now adjust the albedo value of this base color. I think it already looked well, but maybe a little bit somewhere around here, okay? And yeah, I think I should also adjust the albedo value of this one as well. I'm gonna open this one and maybe bring this down. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it somewhere around here and press OK. Let's save everything. And now we have applied the materials on this character. Of course, you don't necessarily have to apply these materials. You can give it your own touch. But I'm just gonna keep things simple here, okay? So I'm gonna drag this character and place it here. And let's see how this looks like in our camera. We bring this out here. And I'm gonna move this somewhere around here. And I think I'm gonna have a better idea after I apply an animation on it. So yeah, let's do one thing. Let's add an animation as well, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to adjust this character without an animation. Okay, so I'm just gonna go into content and create a new folder, and I'm gonna call this as level underscore sequence. And I'm gonna create a level sequence in here. I'm gonna go into cinematics and select level sequence. I'm gonna type in ls underscore shot underscore one. Okay. You can open this level sequence. I'm going to change the frame rate to 24 FPS. There we go. And save everything. And what I'm going to do in here is to select the character. And I'm going to bring this into my sequencer. I'm going to remove the transform parameter from here because there is a bug inside level sequence. If you move your character or any other object in your scene, it automatically adds the keyframes in the sequencer. So I simply just remove the transform parameter. Okay. So what I'm going to do in here is to, as you can see, we have this animation option in here. So I can now click on this plus icon and you can see we have this animation that we downloaded from Mixamo. So I'm going to select this animation and it's going to create this timeline in here. And if I'll drag my playhead, you can see that I have this animation for this character in my level sequence. Okay. So let's now adjust the position of this character. I'm going to place it maybe somewhere around here. I think I'm going to have to adjust my camera as well. Let's see what we can do with this one. I'm going to bring this up real close and bring this thing down here. And maybe I should rotate this character as well. Maybe perhaps somewhere around here. And I'm going to bring this up just about here, maybe a little bit closer, and move it somewhere around here. Yeah. So I think this looks good. I'm not 100% sure, but I think for the most part it looks good. Maybe I'll bring this up here. Yeah, around here. Okay. Yeah. So this is what it looks like at the moment. And yeah, let me see how this looks in here. I think it looks good, but the good thing is that we can always adjust it later as well. But for now, I think this looks pretty good. Okay. So as you can see, even after removing the transform parameter, it automatically added a keyframe. Can you believe this? I'm gonna remove this again. I think I'm gonna have to lock the sequencer before I move anything in the scene. So I think this looks good. Yeah. So this is how you can create a very basic outline of the scene. Download a free character from, let's say, any website, CG Trader, Sketchfab, or anything like that, and use a free tool like Mixamo to not only rig but also animate your character and then bring that animation into Unreal Engine. So that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how you can attach a weapon to this character, and we're going to also animate our camera to create our first shot. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next one.